The miraculous activities of Priyavrata. We learn from the ancient Puranas that the forces of nature do not act independently. The Srimad Bhagavatam's description of Priyavrata's sun-like chariot gives us a glimpse behind the scenes. Let me explain. Priyavrata is the grandson of Lord Brahma, who in Hinduism is the creator of this universe. So we are dealing with an extremely powerful being, a demigod, so we can think as big as we like. Lord Brahma lives for over 311 trillion years by earthly calculation. For the most part, the Bhagavatam covers events across this universe within this particular day, Kalpa, of Lord Brahma, the last 2 billion years or so. In the third canto of the Bhagavatam, we learn that Swayambhuva was the first of 14 Manus in this day. They are the original progenitors of the human form races across the universe. Each Manu rules for about 300 million Earth years. Swayambhuva Manu had 2 sons. The youngest was the pious Priyavrata. After his brother's passing, Priyavrata reluctantly took on the maintenance and protection of all the planetary systems. This was under the supervision of Lord Brahma himself. Priyavrata's activities, as described in the Puranas, are difficult to understand or even imagine, and they appear contradictory. Is it all naive mythology? Not necessarily. Let me tackle this topic in the light of modern scientific knowledge. Firstly, we need to understand that Priyavrata's chariot was not a literal horse-drawn chariot of this earth. It is described to have been vast in size, glowing, sun-like, and could fly through space. The following different perspectives can be deduced. First, fine-tuning the formation of the solar system. In the Bhagavatam's Canto 5, 131, we read, "When Priyavrata drove his chariot behind the sun, the rims of his chariot wheels created impressions that later became 7 oceans, dividing the planetary system known as Bhu-mandala into 7 dweeps, islands." The commentary by Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada reads, "Sometimes the planets in outer space are called islands. We have experience of various types of islands in the ocean, and similarly the various planets are islands in the ocean of space." Sri Vamsidhar, a highly respected Vaishnava, states in his Bhavārtha-dīpikā-prakāśa that King Priyavrata used 7 chariots which were produced by his mystic power, and he made each chariot twice as large as the previous one. Note that this is consistent with the Titius-Bode law, which states that each planet in our solar system is about twice as far from the Sun as the planet that precedes it. As explained in many of my other videos on this channel, Bhu-mandala's dimensions, flatness, and the fact that it is adjacent to the Sun's ecliptic path leads us to conclude that it represents our solar system, at least in part. Also note that ancient Puranic cosmology tended to be geocentric, Earth-centered. In that context, the 12 months of the Sun's annual path around the Earth are compared with a wheel, and its 12 spokes, the seasons. It should not be lost on us that Priyavrata's chariot is described as having a wheel. Now remember that Priyavrata is supposed to have lived about 1 billion years ago, and he ruled for 110 million years. They say that the early solar system was characterized by more frequent collisions with more stray asteroids and a denser Kuiper belt than today. Meanwhile, life and atmosphere on Earth was undergoing transformation. Scriptural quotes about Priyavrata and his chariot may lead us to conclude that he had something to do with the formation and cleaning up of the solar system. But how? In celestial mechanics, orbital renaissance occurs when orbiting bodies exert regular, periodic gravitational influence on each other. It's similar in concept to pushing a child on a swing, whereby the orbit and the swing both have a natural frequency, and the person doing the pushing will participate periodically to have an increased effect on the motion. This effect greatly enhances the gravitational influence of the planet's ability to alter or constrain each other's orbits. Ruts created by the wheel of Priyavrata's chariot could be depressions in the fabric of space-time, a gravitational force. There may be correlations between such rips in the space-time fabric with portals to parallel realities. After all, the Bhagavatam appears to be describing a connection between places in our solar system and other populated parts of the universe. This is obviously not the solar system as we know it. After all, in the 5th canto, 132, we learn that the dweeps are, or were, beautiful realms with various exotic oceans. They were later inhabited by Priyavrata's descendants. Note that Srila Prabhupada's purport to Canto 5, 131 includes the statement, "The various planets divided into 14 lokas." The 14 lokas is a reference to various types of planets in the Puranic universe placed along a vertical axis of a multi-dimensional universe reality. Next model, eliminating the axial tilt. In the 5th canto, 130, we learn that Priyavrata was dissatisfied because he did not like the days getting shorter in the winter and longer in the summer. Priyavrata could have therefore wanted to create a more balanced climate throughout the year on the now populated Earth. When flying his huge chariot, Priyavrata may have temporarily shifted the central point of gravity of the solar system, called the barycenter. According to modern astronomers, an alteration of the barycenter, due to, for example, a rogue planet or a solar system restructuring, could eventually impact the Earth's tilt, and therefore its seasons. We know that the gravitational influence of our moon has a huge effect on the movements of the sea. So could Priyavrata's actions in space relocated water across the globe and altered the Earth's axial tilt by a massive 23 degrees? Contemporary studies suggest that would actually be possible. But whatever happened, we learn that after 7 circumambulations in this sun-like chariot, Priyavrata was stopped by Lord Brahma himself. To help us understand the next category, we have to consider the domino effect these movements could have over a very long time. Next, the Earth's continents. Quotes from the 3rd and 4th cantos of the Bhagavatam have more earthly understanding of the islands or dweeps. The 3rd canto, 21.2 purport, says that Priyavrata and his brother ruled this earth, which is divided into 7 islands. These 7 islands are still current as Asia, Europe, Africa, America, Australasia, and the North and South Poles. In the 4th canto, 21.12 purport, Saptadweep refers to the 7 great islands or continents on the surface of the globe. Could the axial tilt and ongoing wobble of the Earth mentioned earlier have influenced where land appears or disappears on the planet? That would have been possible by shifting ice, water, and crustal stress. From an empirical point of view, during the reign of Swayambhu Manu, Earth did have a single landmass, although less than today. Colombia or Nuna is that hypothetical ancient single continent. When the landmass increased, it became what we now call Pangaea. They think that the single supercontinent began to break apart about 200 million years ago, eventually forming the continents as we know today. In his book, Vedic Cosmography and Astronomy, Sadhbhuta Das, Dr. Richard Thompson, comments on Vamsidar's Big Earth, Small Earth analysis, namely that the large version of Bhu-mandala is a reflection of the small Earth globe. If you compare that with wave-particle duality, anything that affects the wave, like the solar system, will simultaneously affect the particle, the Earth. Priyavrata was powerful enough to do that, more powerful than we can truly comprehend. But when you're the grandson of the creator of the universe, brimming with pious credits, what would you expect? Thanks for watching. Please share with others.